If the Earth were a grand architectural design of nature, then China would be the place where geological and climatic laws are most unpredictable. From the scorching deserts that engulf the horizon in the west to the vast plateaus where the air is so thin that every step is a fierce test of survival. Here, icy mountain ranges pierce through the clouds, where winter seems to have no end. Down south, vast forests, mighty rivers, and sheer cliffs cleave ancient villages and towering mountain ranges. This harshness does not destroy life. On the contrary, it has forged incredibly diverse ecosystems. We are entering the world of a wild China, a vast, mysterious space filled with the wonders of nature. Located in the far north, Hulunbuir grassland presents a challenge to any camera lens, with its seemingly endless expanse. Spanning over 100,000 square kilometers, this grassland has virtually no major natural barriers, allowing the horizon to stretch into a vast belt of wild grass. Rivers and streams meander across the boundless expanse, dividing the grassland into various wet zones, allowing the pastures to grow dense and lush throughout the warmer months. Millions of sheep and horses migrate with the growing grass, maintaining a nomadic lifestyle that has existed for millennia. However, when winter arrives in Inner Mongolia, temperatures in Hulunbuir can drop to as low as -50 degrees Celsius, transforming the entire grassland into a harsh, icy region. Located near the crossroads of three countries, China, Russia, and Mongolia, this area is where many nomadic families still resiliently live inside traditional yurt tents, amidst fierce winds. Throughout the Hulunbuir steppe, nomadic communities raise domesticated gaur as an integral part of their daily transportation and travel. In contrast to the giant wild gaur of the highlands, domesticated gaur are smaller, calmer, and move under direct human control. Meanwhile, wild gaur are known for their extremely aggressive territorial behavior, readily charging at humans, vehicles, or rivals if their safe distance is breached. The breeding season from July to September transforms the male gaur into extremely ferocious creatures, engaging in fierce clashes for access to the female. The contrast between the peaceful herds of domesticated bison and the ferocious wild bison creates one of the most characteristic survival scenes of the northern steppe ecosystem. Leaving behind the vast grasslands and venturing deep into the arid lands lies the Aegina populous Euphratica forest, one of the few remaining wild Euphratica forests on Earth. This tree possesses a miraculous life cycle, often described by legend as 3,000 years of immortality. That is, it lives for 1,000 years without dying, stands for 1,000 years after death, and remains uncorrupted for 1,000 years after falling. Amidst raging sandstorms, saline soil, and year-round drought, the forest dons a brilliant golden hue for only about 3 short weeks each autumn. In this ghost forest, tens of thousands of dead trees still stand, their sharp branches reaching straight up into the gray desert sky. To survive in this harsh environment, their roots must penetrate dozens of meters into the ground to absorb salt water, then release the excess salt through their rough bark in the form of white streaks amidst the carpet of golden leaves and dry sand. Despite the extremely harsh environment, herds of two-humped camels and desert goats persistently graze on dry branches to survive. Further southwest, Horseshield emerges as a vast, empty void on the map of humanity. This is the third largest uninhabited area on Earth, spanning over 45,000 square kilometers. There are virtually no permanent inhabitants because the climate, altitude, and terrain seem to reject any attempt at human encroachment. The entire area is surrounded by the cold, gray Kunlun Mountains, where bare rock formations create a natural boundary separating the plateau from the outside world. Under the impact of global climate change, many salt lakes in Horseshield are expanding and slowly engulfing the low-lying grasslands. Despite the extremely harsh living conditions, it remains an important home for the Tibetan antelope, the migratory symbol of the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. During their migration season, massive herds of antelopes cross the windswept, thin air plateau, creating one of the largest wildlife migrations in all of Asia. Nestled amidst towering snow-capped mountains at an altitude of over 500 meters, Milk Lake displays a surreal beauty that seems to come from another planet. The lake's tranquility is encircled by cold gray cliffs and peaks covered in permafrost. The most distinctive feature, giving this body of water its name, is the band of opaque white mineral limestone that runs along its shores. This pristine white border encircles the clear turquoise water, creating a striking visual contrast between the white of the limestone and the blue of the melting ice. This geological structure is the result of countless millennia of weathering. Water flowing down from the snow-capped mountains carries a rich concentration of minerals. These minerals gradually settle over time along the lake's edge, forming a long white belt that embraces the water. On clear days, the lake perfectly reflects the deep blue plateau sky and the fluffy white clouds drifting slowly by. However, when mist descends from the high mountain peaks. The entire landscape is enveloped in a thin layer of clouds. The scenery becomes hazy, blurring the boundaries between the water's surface, the white rim, and the surrounding sheer cliffs. The changing natural light throughout the day constantly alters the shade of blue in the lake, from pale blue to deep turquoise. The vegetation around Milk Lake is extremely sparse due to its altitude and the nearly year-round frozen soil conditions. Only a few patches of thin grass and small, resilient mountain flowers cling to the crevices of the rocks. Occasionally, the silhouettes of a few domesticated bison move slowly along the rocky path bordering the lake, searching for the rare patches of grass. Their presence, along with the vibrant prayer flags fluttering in the cold wind, further enhances the life of this majestic natural landscape. The waters of Milk Lake overflow a low, rocky ledge and flow down into the valleys below, further nourishing the river and stream system of the Sichuan Plateau. Thousands of quartz sandstone pillars shoot straight up into the air from the deep ravines, tearing through the thick fog of the Zhangjiajie mountains. This magnificent geological structure is the result of millions of years of weathering and erosion by rainwater. The sharp, dark gray peaks, hundreds of meters high, stand majestically like stone giants guarding the vast forest. On the narrow ledges and seemingly uninhabitable cliffs, patches of deep green pine forests stubbornly take root. Lush vegetation covers the ravines below, creating a vivid contrast with the roughness of the limestone. When clouds from the valleys roll in, the mountains transform into an archipelago suspended in midair. The constantly changing weather reshapes the landscape, from streaks of sunlight filtering through the rock crevices to the ethereal scenery shrouded in mist and rain. At the foot of the rock pillars, small streams meander through the carpet of decaying leaves, continuing the silent but persistent process of geological erosion over endless time. A vast sea of swirling white clouds flows through the mountain crevices, transforming the gray granite peaks of Huangshan into solitary islands in an ocean of space. The uplift of the Earth's crust, combined with the erosion of ancient glaciers, has sculpted these sheer cliffs into countless bizarre shapes. Hundreds of Huangshan pine trees stretch their gnarled branches to catch the wind, clinging tightly to the sturdy rock formations with their winding root systems. The rising sun from the horizon bathes the rock peaks in golden light and illuminates the fluffy clouds below. The cold plateau climate allows snow to accumulate on the pine branches in winter, transforming the entire landscape into a vibrant tapestry of nature. Occasionally, the shadows of a few eagles soaring in the deep sky further accentuate the towering height of the mountain range. Huangshan stands firm as an enduring symbol of the power of natural formation and the natural beauty of China. Like a giant eye piercing the sky at an altitude of approximately 300 meters, Tianmen Cave is the world's highest natural cave through a mountain. This cave wasn't formed by the gradual erosion of time, but rather by a massive collapse within the limestone mountain caused by an earthquake in 263 AD. To reach it, visitors must travel on the world's longest mountain cable car, suspended for about 30 minutes above primeval forests and deep valleys. The journey then continues along a mountain path with 99 hairpin bends before climbing 999 stone steps leading directly to the cave entrance. When sunlight shines through the enormous rock arch, the entire entrance appears like a gateway to heaven amidst the clouds and cliffs. Today, the cave arch is also the site of high-speed aerial displays by world-class pilots and paragliders. The Tian Shan Mountains form a mountain wall approximately 2,500 kilometers long. It rises high amidst the deserts of Central Asia and holds China's largest modern glacial system in its core. In this icy region, ice towers, ice mushrooms, and emerald green fishes pile up in a frigid labyrinth with virtually no human footprints. Below the melting snow valleys, dense forests of Ili Pika grow, with many trees reaching 40 to 50 meters in height. Crossing the high mountain rocky terrain, the Ili Pika survives by hiding in rock crevices and stockpiling hay to endure the harsh climate. In summer, this small animal is often hunted by Tibetan foxes in the high mountain grassland. When winter blankets the Tian Shan in white snow, the red foxes become more active and continue to hunt this small animal in the frigid valleys. Sunlight pierces through the temperate vegetation, shining directly down into the crystal-clear lakes, so transparent that you can clearly see the trunks of ancient trees submerged at the bottom, some hundreds of years old. Zhangjiajie displays a system of multicolored lakes located at an altitude of over 2,000 meters. The water's color constantly changes from pure blue, emerald green to jade, depending on the angle of light and the concentration of calcium carbonate deposited at the bottom of the lake. The weathering of cast limestone over thousands of years has created natural dams, retaining the torrent of meltwater from the high mountains. At the bottom of the lakes, carpets of green moss and calcified tree trunks are stacked upon each other, creating a magical glass forest beneath the still water. When autumn winds sweep through, the forest leaves change color to yellow and red, reflecting on the water's surface. blending with the turquoise to create a mesmerizing visual spectacle. The water cascades over the limestone cliffs, forming countless cascading waterfalls with white foam, continuing its journey to engulf the pristine beauty of the Sichuan wilderness. The deep blue water is as still and vast as a giant mirror, stretching endlessly, reflecting the majestic Nianshan Tangla snow-capped mountains on the horizon. Situated at an altitude of over 700 meters on the Tibetan plateau, Namto stands as one of the highest saltwater lakes on the planet. The lake's water is continuously nourished by the melting ice of the surrounding eternally snow-capped peaks. The clear plateau sky and thin air make the lake's blue color intensely vibrant, contrasting sharply with the pristine white of the snow and the dry yellow of the sandy shore. Cold winds constantly blow across the vast lake, creating gentle waves that lap against the pebble-strewn shore. Empty and silent, the space surrounding the lake seems completely isolated from the outside world. Occasionally, the sight of a few albatrosses soaring in the air, or herds of wild buffalo moving slowly along the shore, further deepens the concentrated and sacred beauty of this land. A vast expanse of lush green grass stretches to the horizon, completely replacing the deep lake that once held billions of cubic meters of water just months before. Poyang Lake possesses a unique geological transformation cycle between the rainy and dry seasons. During the flood season, the water from the tributaries transforms the area into a vast freshwater lake spanning over 4,000 square kilometers. However, when the dry season arrives, the water quickly recedes into the Yangtze River, revealing the fertile lakebed and transforming the entire space into a boundless grassland. Ancient stone paths and architectural structures submerged underwater during the summer now reappear intact against the backdrop of green grass. Thousands of migratory birds from the north fly here to escape the winter, creating an incredibly vibrant ecological scene in the dried-up lake. This miraculous transition between water and land not only creates an unpredictable and ever-changing landscape, but also demonstrates the astonishing creativity of nature. The pristine white limestone terraces, stacked in layers, contain sparkling turquoise waters at the foot of the snow-capped Mount Hubei. Baishui Terrace is one of China's largest travertine calcification masterpieces. Formed over 300,000 years of mineral accumulation, the calcium carbonate-rich spring water flowing from the mountain's core, upon contact with the air, has precipitated and gradually settled into gently undulating limestone ridges. The smooth white limestone reflects the sunlight, making the entire scenic spot look like a frozen ice waterfall halfway up the mountain. The contrast between the white of the mineral rocks, the blue of the water, and the deep green of the surrounding forest creates an incredibly delicate visual structure. Although not very large in area, the unique geological formation and the continuous flow of mineral water over thousands of years have made this place one of the most magical highlights on the geological map of Yunnan. A massive wall of water, meters high, suddenly surges from the sea, violently pounding the riverbed and sweeping upstream at incredible speed. The Qiantang River tide represents one of the most ferocious and dangerous counter-tidal phenomena on Earth. The combination of the moon's gravitational pull during a full moon and the riverbed's sudden narrowing into a funnel shape compresses the enormous volume of seawater into a furious wave. The waves crash against the stern embankments, sending white foam high into the air, as tall as a multi-story building. A thunderous roar, like thunder rumbling from the earth, reverberates along the coastal wetlands. The roaring force of the water not only continuously reshapes the riverbed's structure, but also demonstrates the overwhelming power of the ocean upon impact with the land. The vast Yellow River, hundreds of meters wide, suddenly narrows into a rocky gorge less than 30 meters wide, plunging straight down into the abyss with destructive force. The Tiger's Mouth waterfall appears like a boiling basin, where masses of dark yellow, silt-laden water roar, shaking the entire valley. The immense compressive pressure of the narrow, rocky terrain transforms the flow into a swirling matrix of waves, erupting into colossal columns of mist that envelop the dark gray sandstone cliffs. Under the sunlight, the continuous silt-laden mist creates shimmering rainbows stretching across both banks of the river. The persistent erosion of the water over countless millennia has carved deep into the rocky basin, pushing the waterfall further upstream and leaving behind towering, defiant rocky gorges. Bitter winds of Force 8 relentlessly battered the narrow mountain cliffs, swirling clouds of white snow that blanketed the entire rocky valley. Laofengkou was once known as the most brutal death zone in Xinjiang, where temperatures could plummet to -30 degrees Celsius and blizzards could last for weeks. The narrow gorge's structure acted like a natural air conduit, amplifying wind speed to extreme levels. However, today this barren and harsh land is covered with thousands of giant electric windmills. The pristine white plates spin steadily in the vast expanse of the sky, transforming the raging energy of nature into green electricity. The interplay between the harshness of the winter weather and modern energy architecture has transformed this place into an impressive ecological landmark. Two streams of water with completely contrasting colors collide but do not dissolve, creating a boundary stretching for tens of kilometers across the ocean. The Yellow River estuary at Dongying is where the mother river, laden with thick golden silt, meets the deep blue Bohai Sea. The stark differences in salinity, turbidity, and mineral density keep the dividing line as clear as a giant paint stroke drawn directly on the water's surface. Every year, millions of tons of alluvial soil and sand from the highlands flow here, continuing to build up and extend the landmass towards the sea, creating new ecological wetlands. This place has become a biological breeding ground for thousands of species of wild plants and animals. Tall reeds, reaching above head height, sway in the sea breeze, embracing the nests of the extremely rare red-crested crane. Flocks of white cranes and yellow-billed storks swoop down to the shallow mudflats to feed, while beneath the alluvial waters, countless species of marine fish swim upstream to breed. This contrasting yet harmonious scene is a vivid testament to the beginning of a thriving open-sea ecosystem. A vibrant crimson carpet of vegetation covers the entire coastal wetland, stretching endlessly to the horizon like a fantastical ecological surface. The red beach of Bankam does not possess the usual golden sands, but is composed of the fertile alluvial mud of the Liao River. The Sueda salsa grass is the only organism capable of thriving on this saline soil. As summer passes and the early autumn chill arrives, the entire carpet of grass begins to change color from deep green to bright red, then gradually deepens into a captivating velvety red. The fiery red surface of the mudflats becomes a survival anchor for a unique marine ecosystem. Plump spotted seals bask on the sand dunes in the distance, while beneath the red carpet of grass, millions of tiny crabs crawl back and forth, scavenging for organic matter. Hundreds of northern migratory birds, such as the black-billed albatross and the black-faced spoonbill, visit here, dotting the vast red landscape with tiny white dots. This unique color scheme transforms the wetland into a vibrant work of art created by nature. The undulating sandstone formations, layered in a full spectrum of colors from brick red, orange yellow, gray blue to ivory white, stretch across the rolling hills. The Dangxia geological formations in Zhangjiajie display one of the most wondrous natural color structures on the planet. Over 24 million years of geological compression and uplift of the Earth's crust, the iron-rich sandstone sedimentary layers have been sculpted by wind and rain. The setting sun or sudden downpours further accentuate the stark contrast between the color bands. This makes the hills look like vibrant rainbow ribbons spread out in the arid wilderness. Despite the extremely barren soil conditions, the sandstone ecosystem retains its hidden life. Desert thorns and deep-rooted camel grass silently cling to the cracks in the sandstone to absorb the meager moisture. Flocks of blue stone sheep with their curved horns move gently across the steep, colorful cliffs, grazing on patches of withered moss. Their appearance creates a vibrant rhythm amidst the silent expanse of colorful rocks. Pingtan Island in Fujian Province is one of China's most famous places to observe the blue tears phenomenon. On spring and early summer nights, along the dark coastline, each wave crashing against the rocks or gliding across the sand unexpectedly brightens with ethereal blue streaks of light, like stars melting beneath the water's surface. This phenomenon is created by a surge in the number of bioluminescent plankton, primarily the species Noctiluca scintillans. When disturbed by ocean waves, currents, or even human footsteps, their cells emit a cool blue light that lasts only a few seconds before quickly disappearing. Each wave thus leaves behind a shimmering trail of light, making the entire coastline look as if it were covered by a moving Milky Way. In the tranquil night, the combination of bioluminescent light, the sound of waves, and the deep black sea creates one of nature's most magical spectacles, attracting thousands of photographers and tourists every year. In winter, along both banks of the Songhua River in Jilin City, thousands of tree trunks are covered in a layer of pristine white ice crystals. This scene creates the Jilin Rime phenomenon, also known as Jilin frost, one of China's 4 great winter wonders. This phenomenon occurs due to a unique combination of relatively warm water released from the Fengmen hydroelectric power plant upstream and a mass of frigid air that often drops below -20 degrees Celsius. Because the river surface doesn't freeze completely, water vapor continuously rises during the freezing days. When it encounters the cold branches of the trees along the river, the water vapor immediately condenses into countless tiny ice crystals. Over time, these crystals accumulate, covering the branches with a layer of fine white ice instead of snow. At dawn, the entire riverside forest sparkles as if carved from crystal under the first rays of sunlight. Whenever a gentle breeze sweeps through, tiny ice crystals tremble and fall, creating a scene resembling a crystal rain in the winter. The contrast between the silently flowing river and the frost-covered forest creates a rare winter wonderland, becoming a famous symbol of northeast China. The pristine temperate forests stretching across the mountains of Zhangjiajie create one of China's best preserved ecosystems. Located in Hubei province, this reserve is a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its exceptional biodiversity. The high altitude, ranging from a few hundred to over 3,000 meters, create diverse climatic zones, allowing thousands of plant and animal species to coexist in a vast space. It is home to the Zhangjiajie golden snub-nosed monkey, one of the world's rarest primates. They live in troops in the canopy of ancient trees, and their calls often echo through the mist-shrouded valleys. Interspersed within the forest are the Chinese pigeon trees Davidia involucrata, an ancient plant famous for its two large white bracts that sway in the wind like flying birds. Dense fog, which appears at many times of the year, combined with the rugged mountainous terrain, creates a mystical atmosphere, making Zhangjiajie long associated with many legends and stories about mysterious creatures. Nestled amidst the lush green forests of Wuyuan County, Yuanyang Lake is an important wetland for many migratory waterbird species. Every year, when winter arrives, thousands of mandarin ducks fly here to escape the cold and find abundant food sources. The tranquil lake surface, with its rich aquatic vegetation, provides ideal conditions for them to live for months. The male ducks stand out with their colorful plumage, ranging from orange, purple, and green to pure white, considered one of the most beautiful birds in the world. They usually swim in pairs or small flocks, creating gentle ripples on the calm water. In the early morning, a thin mist covers the lake, further enhancing the peaceful scenery of the reserve. The abundance of bird species here reflects the quality of the natural environment preserved over many years, making Yuanyang Lake a popular destination for wildlife photographers. The vast bamboo forests stretching across the slopes of Sichuan create a unique habitat for giant pandas. Among them, Maoju bamboo is one of the many bamboo species used by pandas as a food source, alongside other native species. Each day, an adult panda can spend more than 10 hours searching for and eating bamboo to meet its enormous energy needs. They use the bones of their wrists, developed into pseudo-fingers, to grip the bamboo stalks and easily peel off the hard outer layer. Amidst the towering bamboo stalks that blanket the sky, pandas slowly move across the mountain slopes, searching for young bamboo shoots and fresh bamboo leaves. The rustling sound of the wind through the bamboo forest creates a characteristic sound of the western Chinese mountains. The close dependence between pandas and the bamboo forest ecosystem has been maintained for millions of years, becoming one of the most typical and well-known ecological relationships on the planet. Nubei Mountain, over 3,600 meters high, is considered one of the most beautiful cloud-covered viewpoints in Sichuan province. From the summit, the view is almost unobstructed, allowing for panoramic views of the snow-capped mountains on the eastern edge of the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. On days with favorable weather conditions, visitors can even see many famous peaks, including Zhangjiajie Mountain in the distance. As humid air is lifted by the mountain ranges and flows over the slopes, thick layers of clouds continuously descend into the valley, creating a phenomenon likened to a giant waterfall of clouds. At dawn or dusk, the sunlight shines obliquely on the snow-capped peaks, bathing them in a brilliant golden hue. This phenomenon is called golden mountain reflection, one of the most sought-after moments for photographers in Western China. The sea of clouds moves constantly at the foot of the mountain, while the rocky peaks remain motionless above, creating a scene that is both majestic and profound. At 556 meters, Zhangjiajie is the highest peak in Sichuan province and is known as the King of the Shu Mountains. The steep slopes and rapidly changing weather make it one of the most challenging mountains to conquer in the world. Dozens of modern glaciers still remain on the high slopes, many extending down to the coniferous forests at lower altitudes. Giant ice masses have slowly moved over thousands of years, eroding the bedrock and creating the characteristic U-shaped valleys of glacial terrain. At the foot of the glaciers are turquoise meltwater lakes, reflecting light due to the large amount of fine rock dust. When the clouds dissipate, the entire snow-capped peak rises majestically against the sky, creating one of the most magnificent symbols of the Western Chinese plateau. The landscape clearly reflects the power of glaciers, geological formations, and the rare, pristine beauty of nature. China is not just a land of numbers or landmarks on a map, but a living entity where rocks, water, wind, and time are tirelessly creating visual wonders every day. From raging tidal waves to eternally snow-capped peaks, the journey of exploring nature never truly ends. For each passing season bestows upon this land a completely new appearance. Share your thoughts below to join us in discovering more wonders.